In the recent video interview I did with Vian Herbst, I showed this painting when it was still in progress. Having now returned from Bloemfontein with fresh inspiration, I have now completed the painting and will exhibit it with several others at the Saba Mini Convention in the last weekend of November in Johannesburg this year. On the winter solstice of 2025, the 21st of June, fellow Bonsai Kai member Johan Els and I road tripped to the neighbouring Northwest Province and in particular Brits. We were en route to visit Wouter and his father Pieta to get to know them and their bonsais a little bit better. Wouter admired his father's passion for bonsai since he was a little boy and is now following in his footsteps. Although Wouter has only been growing bonsai for the last 11 years, he has been a Pretoria Bonsai Kai member for the last 5 years of that. Johan Els and I look forward to sharing the fun-filled day of bonsai that we enjoyed by the great hosts of the Pretoriuses. Hope you enjoy it.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Liam Flaherty and Wouter Pretorius that was so kind to invite us. And Wouter, thank you for having us here in Brits, inviting us, taking care of us. Wouter's going to tell us a couple of things. For instance, Wouter, how is the growing conditions and your bonsai experience here in Brits? How do you experience all of that here?
Okay, thanks Johan. And yeah, thanks for visiting us. We're actually enjoying the day.
Absolutely.
Now, Brits has got a very good climate, especially for our indigenous stuff, because the temperatures get quite high in the summer months. In winters, we hardly get frost, although last year we were surprised by some black frost. So definitely did hurt some of the trees, and that's why we actually built a hothouse just for the figs and the speckies to go in during this colder months. But yeah, the indigenous stuff grow quite vigorous. The baobabs, especially the acacias or senegalias, they enjoy these hotter temperatures.
Now, seeing as we're here, I had the opportunity to choose why I'm standing here because I thought this is quite a spectacular species. So, Wouter, please tell us a little bit about this tree of yours.
Yeah, that's a golpini. I've had it for about 6 years now. The time I got it, it was very overgrown with these long runners, and I put it in a bigger pot and started reducing it. It's still a process. We still want to reduce it down a bit and get better ramification. But yeah, I purchased it from a retired bonsai grower from Pretoria North, and yeah, when it's in full bloom, even now the silhouette, it is spectacular. I quite enjoy it.
Me as well, that's why I chose it. Now, Wouter, there's a tree that Liam actually wanted us to discuss. If I'm going to move over towards it, I just want to know a little bit about this blowballs. Yes. Tell us a little bit how you experienced it, what you went through with it, and I'm sure the people would like to hear.
Yeah, so this actually came from warm baths. I actually got it from a bonsai grower there. It's like it is now, it is beautiful. Although we had a very wet summer, that we actually, it gets this little black soot or something on it. And then after the fungi-nex treatment, it dropped all its leaves. And now it's quite, although we're in the middle of the winter, it's actually growing pretty beautifully. And it looks like it wants to go into flower as well. It makes these small little yellow flowers. And it is beautiful when it blooms though. Yeah, now they struggle to fatten up. It is in a bigger pot to give it a bit more space to fatten up. It is quite slow. Maybe in 6 years' time the stem actually doubled in size, and I actually fiddled a bit with it and made a little and see if we can't get the trunk to swell up quite nicely. So it's getting there, very slow, but yeah, enjoying it.
I love it. It's a spectacular tree.
Thanks.
Please tell us a little bit about your bonsai journey, seeing as you actually got interested in bonsai through your dad. Can you give us a little bit more background about that, please?
Yeah, no, I remember when I was still a lady, my dad had quite a few potted plants and getting into bonsai. So it must have been when I was about 11 or 12, he started already. So yeah, this tree actually started its journey in Gauteng. So it's one of the few survivors from those years. So it's 30 years plus. That's been kept in a small container from those days. Then, yeah, well, it's actually moved. It lived in 3 provinces already. So then it moved to the Eastern Cape, and then it came back to Gauteng, and from Gauteng to the northwest. Yeah, so.
And you said it had a near-death experience on the way basically back to life here as well.
Yeah, no, we've a malfunctioning irrigation system, and a bonsai, when you're not here, is not a friend. So this is actually, yeah, they're hardy. They can take a bit of heat, they can take a bit of drought, and yeah, no, I think it's pretty. It's a nice fat stem. So yeah, no, we're enjoying the tree.
Awesome. What species is it?
It's Cortea brachypetala. That's the boerboom.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is also one of my favorites as I walked about. So a little bit of a thing that I need to know from you. I understand that it's going to be difficult to give me a favorite species. So you have this idea of a couple of ideas and why it is a favorite of yours. Please tell us about it.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say I've got any particular favorite, but I've got maybe a category, if I can put it this way.
Sure.
Spec boomer would definitely fall in the category of easier growers, most forgiving, quite hardy. And then I'd say most rewarding species would be ficuses and bougainvilleas, because of the flowers. And ficuses are just, they fatten up so quickly, and they make these fantastic roots. So, yeah, no, quite a few species actually. We can carry on.
Yes, I also take note that you'll see through the video Liam takes that you've got an amazing collection of indigenous trees with a couple of species that we haven't seen in any other growers' collections. So just give us a background on your love for that, or what's your inspiration in taking on such a huge task, and we applaud you for doing that.
Thanks, Johan. Yeah, no, I enjoy trying, especially experimenting with indigenous stuff. I think it's very underused. So yeah, there's quite a few experiments going, things in grower pots, things that's been collected, and especially stock that we get from nurseries that's been neglected.
Yes.
That the landscapers can't use.
Yes.
It doesn't have the height, or the stem broke off or something. That's the type of stock that I'm after. They've got nice stems. Yeah, I tried various species actually, so we'll keep you updated.
We can attest to that. We thank you for being able and willing to do the experiments so that all of us that's interested in bonsai can learn through your experiences and sharing thereof. We thank you for that.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about my other favorite tree that's what's happening here, what happened to it. Give us a little bit of history on it.
Yeah, no, I think I'll call this the monstrosity. This is actually exchange tree that I exchanged with Rudy Williams. I swapped him for a twin trunk crotostoma that was also not very spectacular. So I got it, and it had these long growing stems on it, but I think you'll pick that up on a photo that I've seen. So I put it in the ground only for a year. And because I knew it's such vigorous growers that I might struggle to get it out after that. So only for a year it went to the ground, and then it actually fattened up quite nicely, and then I started reducing it back. I've had it planted upright, I've had it slanting, we're still fiddling with it, but as long as it's getting there, it's growing, I think it's going to be beautiful.
I don't think it's going to be beautiful. I think it's beautiful already. I love the movement. I love the way it's starting with its ramification. I think you did an awesome job with this.
Cool, yeah, and there is a few flowers popping now. Hopefully the black frost won't hit us, and then we'll see some flowers coming spring.
That would be spectacular. Wouter, you explained that this tree also has a special meaning to you, and it's got a special story, so please go ahead and tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so no, this is a shout out to John Turner that actually gifted me this tree. after it was, I think, potted for maybe about 20 years on a patio in the Drakensberg. So when I saw it and I saw the yellow leaves on it, I said, there's no way, this is a rescue. Would you mind? I'm going to bonsai that. So, yeah, no, John was kind enough and said, yeah, no, please, take it, do what you have to. So I took it home and I actually told my dad, listen, I've got a problem with this tree. And he actually helped me with the first styling of the tree. And it's, every year it gets its fair amount of work done on it, and it's developing quite nicely, and the live veins on it is swelling up beautifully.
Very nice. What type of tree is it?
It's Procumbens nana. Yeah, and it's quite a big specimen. You rarely get them with
this size.
With the size of the stem like this. Yeah.
What happened over here?
The problem is we had a branch that was sticking out horizontally this way, so I figured there's no way, so I made a small incision and started gradually drawing it forward, and so it kind of looks like it broke in nature, and after every month tightening and setting it a bit more, now it's set in that position.
Okay, Wouter, this is a red leaf fig. You gave me a small tip on how to distinguish between a red leaf and a wonderboom over there. What did you say again? What should I do?
I'm going to show you. We pick a leaf from this and then we go over to the wonderboom.
Okay.
Now Johan, just pick one of those leaves and rub each one in each hand, and you can identify which one is which.
Woo.
That's the wonderboom.
Mr. Stinky is the wonderboom. The red leaf, just normal, but this one's got quite a smell on it.
That's right. So yeah, that's also still in grower pots. We're trying to develop, it's actually fattening up quite nicely, but yeah, we're trying to develop it, and I think it's going to get there. Maybe next year or the year after, it's going to go into a shallower pot.
Awesome, beautiful, and thank you for the tip.
Cool.
Wouter, where are we now?
Well, this is an extension of the section that we got after last year's black frost. Yeah, we were kindly forced after we got some serious damage on the speckies and the ficuses. So yeah, this is actually quite cheap and cheerful. We erected it ourselves. Yeah, so this is where we protect the things for this winter. And on this side, I've actually got baobabs as well. They shouldn't be too phased about the hothouse, but what I wanted to point out is the height of these containers.
Yes, you said that when you started that tree it was about this size, and it grew into that quite quickly.
In 4 years' time.
Wow.
Yeah, in 4 years' time we've got them to fatten up like this, but I think the key is the size of the container and the depth of it. So yeah, I think another year or two, then it will go into a bit shallower pot, into a proper bonsai pot. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Cool.
Tell us a little bit about your structure, your watering, pests and diseases, fertilization, while walking through the garden, and tell us a little bit about all your trees that you have.
Yeah, so initially we started only with the structure on the left hand side, where we've got the white shade netted area, and it worked quite well. And then eventually, as the trees got more,
You had
to expand. And yeah, after the black frost last year, now we've got a little hothouse as well. So we're trying to cover all the elements.
Your irrigation system?
We've this on the white side, we've got overheads, and then on the green side, we also had overheads at a point. But then we picked up that we've got scale sitting on our leaves, and I was thinking that my photosynthesis is not good enough, so it might affect it. So we dropped these down to actually just spray on the edges of the pots on this line and that line. That line with the trees that's standing in various places, it's not transferred yet. So yeah, we're getting there. We're learning and carrying on and adjusting as we go along with the climate.
Awesome. The dopbrain, I heard that this is also in your area quite abundant, and that's why you chose it.
Yeah, no, Papia capensis, they thrive in this area. They actually like the hotter climate as well. Quite slow growers. They don't fatten up, but very, very specific about them is these little motifs on the leaves. So yeah, but they're doing well in this area.
Beautiful. You've got a big leaf fig
Yeah.
with a beautiful base and a stone that it's covering with its nice roots.
Yeah, no, we're really trying to do these because they're quite scarce. You don't see the collectors with a lot of the big leaf figs.
I don't have one. I'll twist his arm for a little cutting, or we'll arrange
No,
something.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. So, but yeah, they're going to develop into something special.
Definitely.
It's actually growing out the roots and taking on the roots quite nicely. So,
Awesome.
Wonderboomvee, they actually, yeah, they also trunk chopped material. This is only trunk chopped about 3 years ago, so it's also in development stages, still in a grower pot. And I'd recommend that if you take something and want it going, put it in a grower pot first, because that's one of the mistakes that I've made. Is we all flooded with these bonsais in these shallow trays, and then you buy nursery stock and you stick it into a shallow tray.
And it takes forever to
And it takes forever.
Okay, Liam chose this tree for us to speak about. So, Wouter, this is a very beautiful designed indigenous tree. So tell us a little bit more about it and where you got it and what you like about it and what's quite spectacular or interesting about it.
Yeah, this is a tamboti, and it's actually poisonous. The leaves are poisonous, and if you cut it and it's got a milk substance on, whatever you do, don't rub your eyes or put it in your mouth. Yeah, no, it is poisonous. So, but yeah, my dad gifted it to me about 10 or 11 years ago, and it was thick as my pinky. So I've seen bigger ones, but then you need to put it in a massive pot to fatten up. They're quite slow growers. But yeah, no, this was one of the first proper stylings that I've done, I'd say. And look at the autumn colors on this.
Very beautiful autumn colours,
Absolutely
yes.
beautiful.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, Wouter, I thank Johan very much for interviewing you here today. And I had a couple of top picks that I chose that you guys spoke about, namely the tamboti and the Dasperus, the blowboss. But this one in particular is the top pick for me out of your collection. And it's only the top pick for me because not necessarily is it maybe the best tree here, but it's the commodity of its species. When you introduced me to this tree, I'd never heard about it before. I'd never heard about it. I've never seen one. I'd never even read about them in the past before. But I wondered if you could tell me about its name and tell me a little bit about this tree.
Yeah, so this is an interesting species, and I've got it about 6-7 years now. This is from a grower. I got it from Dominiani in Warmbath. And I actually got this one and two smaller ones. Unfortunately, the black frost also pinched my smaller ones a bit, but this fortunately didn't have any damage on it. The name. Okay, so it's a sterkastijn. In English, it's a star chestnut.
Star chestnut.
That's right, and it grows more in the northern parts of South Africa, to the
Yes.
warmer regions.
Yes.
So the frost-free areas, can you basically put it. Sterculium rogersi, it's its Latin name, and the interesting about it is Sterculium is actually the Greek goddess of manure because of its flowers, and it does flower yearly, beginning of spring. It actually stinks. It reeks so much that the tree is actually named after the stinking flowers. Yeah, so developed, I've actually tried to reduce it. It's fattening up quite nicely, and it's a lot similar growth in the baobabs. You know,
Yes.
it makes these big bulby roots. But yeah, now enjoying it, in general enjoying it, and from now on it'll be in forced dormancy with no water. Otherwise you don't get flowers in spring.
Yes. Yeah, so then there was a couple of interesting observations that I made about it. You've got a development tree in the back, and you can actually now show the leaf reduction that you've actually been able to achieve on this. I mean, what is that about? It's about 70% leaf reduction.
That's correct.
Furthermore, it's got the commodity that you say that it actually flowers every year. What was interesting, what you've been doing with it is forcing dominancy by reducing watering. When I read up about it last night, I saw that it's in the same family as baobab, and we can see a lot of similar traits with the baobab, especially in terms of the roots. What I also noticed was, if you know the white paperbark caniduate, the type of flake that tree has, unlike the Harveyii, over time this tree develops that same type of almost scale-like flaking instead of like bigger pieces.
I see.
The growth to me reminds me a lot of a soap nettle. Yeah, but the leaves are very, very small and a unique shape. What an amazing tree to have in your collection.
Indeed, yeah. The funny thing is that actually how it grows, and it makes these growth marks where it actually callus and becomes fat. This was from last year, and now it's starting to fatten up and store energy for the coming spring.
Yes. In conclusion, I would just like to thank your parents and yourself for having us around here. It's also been an inspiration to meet your dad, who's walked a long bonsai journey in 3 provinces, like you mentioned earlier on, but also for your hospitality here today. I've learned a lot. I think that Johan's learned a lot, and we've had a fantastic afternoon here on the winter solstice at your house. You're currently the root over rock champion for Brat. You're currently the trophy holder for that. So I look forward to seeing the trees that you're going to exhibit in the up and coming Brats. I think that you're going to be at our Brats, and I think you're going to bring a couple of trees.
Will do, and yes, I'm going to bring a few.
And Johan and I look forward to our future with you in our club and all of our future endeavors with bonsai.
Wow, Liam, no, thanks so much. Thanks, Johan. Thanks, Liam. It was great, yes, and it's the fantastic thing about the bonsai community. It's not only you guys that said you've learned a lot. It was fantastic having you guys here and sharing your knowledge also with me. I mean, that's the great part about it. We're exchanging knowledge at the end of the day.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it so much. Thanks.
All the best.